Lie completely still and do not open your eyes. That was the only thought screaming in my head as I laid on the cold steel operating table. The local anesthesia had numbed my body, but my mind was sharper than ever. That was when I heard the chief surgeon lean over to the head nurse and whisper a sentence that instantly turned my blood to ice. He told her to take a thick yellow envelope and give it directly to my wife in the waiting room, making sure I never saw it. I forced my breathing to stay slow and steady, pretending to still be completely out of it. I had to know what was inside that envelope, but nothing could have prepared me for the sickening truth that was about to blow my entire life apart. My name is Mark, and for 7 years, I believed I was living a perfectly blessed life. My wife, Sarah, was everything a man could ask for. She was smart, successful, and deeply devoted to our family. We had 2 beautiful children, a 5-year-old boy named Leo and a 3-year-old girl named Maya. Life seemed picture perfect from the outside, but behind closed doors, Sarah had been dropping subtle hints for months that our family was complete. She felt 2 kids were enough and suggested I get a vasectomy. I loved her, so I agreed without hesitation. I booked an appointment with Dr. Vance, a top specialist who happened to be an old acquaintance of Sarah from her corporate networking events. The morning of the procedure started normally. Sarah dropped me off at the clinic, giving me a warm kiss and promising to wait in the main lobby. Once in the operating room, Dr. Vance and his team administered the sedative and local numbing agents. I was supposed to be completely relaxed, drifting on the edge of consciousness. However, due to my unusually high metabolic rate, the mild sedative wore off far faster than the surgical team realized. I was fully awake, though paralyzed by the sheer terror of opening my eyes and exposing that I could hear everything. That was when the quiet conversation started. I heard the gentle rustle of paper near my medical chart. Dr. Vance spoke in a hushed, urgent tone to the scrub nurse. He handed her a sealed, heavy envelope and instructed her to deliver it to my wife in the waiting area, explicitly warning her to make sure I did not catch a glimpse of it. Panic surged through my veins. Why would my surgeon be passing secret documents to my wife while I was lying helpless on an operating table? Was it a medical diagnosis, a terminal illness they were hiding from me, or was it something far more sinister? The moment the procedure finished, I played along with the recovery protocol. I acted groggy, moving slowly as the nurses wheeled me out to the post-op lounge where Sarah was waiting. She looked visibly anxious, clutching her leather handbag tightly against her lap. I noticed the slight corner of a thick yellow manila envelope peeking out from the top zip of her purse. Her cheeks were flushed, and she could barely meet my eyes as she helped me into the car. The drive home was suffocatingly quiet. Every time I asked if the doctor had said anything to her, she brushed it off, claiming he just gave standard post-care instructions. I knew she was lying. That night, I waited until the entire house was silent and the clock struck 2 in the morning. I slipped out of bed, careful not to wake Sarah, and crept into the home office where she kept her personal bag. My hands were shaking uncontrollably as I unzipped her purse and pulled out the yellow envelope. It was unsealed. Inside were 2 items that completely shattered my reality. The first was a set of paternity test results from a private lab dated 3 weeks prior. The second was a handwritten letter from Dr. Vance himself. The DNA test revealed that I was not the biological father of our 3-year-old daughter, Maya. Tears streamed down my face as my mind raced to process the betrayal. But the letter from Dr. Vance made everything 10 times worse. In the note, Dr. Vance revealed that he was actually Maya's biological father from a brief affair they had 4 years ago. He wrote that he agreed to perform my vasectomy for free as leverage to ensure I would never be able to father another child, permanently securing his secret and guaranteeing Sarah would never leave him out of guilt. He threatened to release the full DNA record to my employer if Sarah ever stopped bringing Maya to visit his private practice. My heart stopped, replaced by a cold, calculating rage. They thought I was an unsuspecting fool who would quietly raise another man's child while being medically altered to suit their sick bargain. I did not scream, and I did not confront Sarah that night. Instead, I took crisp, clear, photographs of every single document, the letter, and the DNA lab results, backing them up to 3 secure cloud servers. The next morning, I did not call a marriage counselor. I called a high-profile family lawyer and the state medical ethics board. Within 48 hours, my attorney served Sarah with divorce papers at her corporate office, accompanied by a court summons for paternity fraud. Simultaneously, we submitted the handwritten letter and medical records to the state licensing board and federal law enforcement, opening a criminal investigation into Dr. Vance for severe medical malpractice, breach of oath, and blackmail. When Sarah realized her secret was exposed, she broke down in tears, begging for forgiveness and claiming Dr. Vance had manipulated her. But the trust was completely destroyed. The medical board revoked Dr. Vance's license permanently, and he now faces felony extortion charges. As for my children, despite the heartbreak, I chose to legally adopt Maya as her rightful father in the eyes of the law, cutting both Sarah and Dr. Vance completely out of her life through sole custody proceedings. I survived the ultimate betrayal by holding my breath, keeping quiet, and turning their secret against them. Never assume that silence means weakness. When people conspire to build a life on lies right in front of your eyes, playing along just long enough to gather the proof is the ultimate power move. Today, Dr. Vance has lost his career and freedom. Sarah lost her family. And I walk forward with my children knowing the truth finally set us free.